Now, who do you want to be today?
Iron Man.
Okay, so this is the image that we are going to work with. This is the picture of Tony Stark, Iron Man, that my son wanted to emulate. So to get Nico to look like Iron Man, what I had to do first was take a picture of him with the correct light source on his face, and his face in roughly the same position as Tony's. Now, he is a 4-year-old, so it's kind of hard to work with, but that's what I got. So I'm going to work with this image and put this face on top of this Iron Man, and we're going to make it look something like that. Okay, so that is my final product. That's what we're going to have Nico look like. To get started, what we're going to do is make sure you are selected on your child's layer. Pull up the lasso tool, and we're just going to get as tight as we can around your child. So lasso tool, you can just click and make different points here at various intervals, trying to get it to be as tight as you can around just his face area. So you can see I'm doing this pretty quickly. If I wanted to get more accurate, I could zoom in, and I can, go a little bit tighter in here, but I've already cut him out, so I am going to just use that instead of going through this whole thing with you. I have got that already set up right here, and I have scaled him down with the transform tool to be pretty close to where Tony's is, but it is off still, so I do need to make some adjustments. So if you look at it closely, if we zoom in, you can see Tony's face is still way down here, his chin, and his ear is like in here somewhere. So if I turn it off, you can see that Nico's face looks a little bit rounder than Iron Man's. So in order to make Nico look more like Iron Man, and to do this as quickly as possible so that you don't take your whole day doing this thing, we are going to adjust Nico's face. Now first, what I want to do is I want to turn down the opacity of this layer. So I'm going to turn him down a little bit, and I want to make their eyes pretty close. Let's see. So something like that. Now I noticed that his face is still very round. I'm actually going to take and I'm going to use the free transform tool, which is Command T. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So let's see how distorted his face looks. It's not terrible, right? So from this point here, we got a few different things that we're going to do. We're going to start by I'm actually going to make a duplicate of this layer, turn this one off in case I have to go back to it. I know I can work on that. I'm going to get rid of some of his hair. So I'm going to go on my mask layer here, and I am going to brush away at his hair. And I'm going to turn the opacity up, and we're going to make Tony's hair in there. So I'm going to get close to where I want it, and then I'm going to take this down to about 30%, and then I'm going to start working some of the rest of this in here. Okay, I am happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to take and bring up a curves layer, and I'm going to just darken this layer. So I'm going to click on this button here. This is going to clip it just to the layer below, and I'm going to darken this quite a bit. All right, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to brush off some of the areas that I don't want darkened, like this side here. We want to keep these highlights. So that's pretty good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a photo filter. So we're going to use this adjustment layer here, and again I'm going to clip it to the layer below me, and I'm going to make this a cooling filter. We're going to use this one right here, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit, maybe somewhere around there. Now you can see by doing that I've kind of brought in some of this blue into his face here. But I want to take the red color out a little bit too and add a little bit more yellow in there. So in addition to the photo filter, I'm going to add a selective color filter. And again, I'm going to clip it to the layer below. So where all of these are just working this layer right here, which is Nico's face. So I have my neutral selected, and I'm going to take the magenta out a little bit. See how I'm doing that? Now I'm going to add a little more cyan and a little bit of yellow. So I think that what that's going to do is it's going to bring my colors a little bit more accurate with the image that we're using as our base. Now what I want to do is, maybe before we go any further, I'm just going to lighten up his eyes a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to do one more curves layer, clip it to the layer below, and I'm just going to bring this up a bit. And now obviously I'm exaggerating, but I'm going to go to my mask and I'm going to black that out by hitting Shift Delete, and that's going to bring up a fill of the foreground color, which you can see over here is black. So now I'm going to go to my brush tool, which it's on, and I'm going to select the white color to paint things away. So I'm going to paint away some of this here to make his eyes a little bit brighter. Okay, that's good. You see what we did there? Just lightened up the eyes. Okay, good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of everything that I'm working on with his face. So I'm going to select the mask that is his face. I'm going to hit Command Shift C to copy and Command V to paste, just that. Now I can take and turn off all the layers below. So this is what I've got of Nico's face and Tony's face. So now working on this, you can see that the Iron Man face is really contrasty. It's got a ton of detail. So we're going to start adding a little detail to Nico's face. So to do that, I'm going to use an unsharp mask under my filters. So sharpen, unsharp mask. And I've got this already set up kind of where I want it here. So that's going to add me a lot of contrast, right? And a little bit of detail. So what I'm going to do now that I've got that kind of where I want it, is I'm going to, I'm just going to add another layer, and I'm going to change the blending mode to soft light. I'm going to use my black color, and at 30% opacity here, I'm just going to paint around him. And we're just going to darken a lot of this side of his face here. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. We're going to create another layer, make it soft light as well. And this time I'm going to take my eyedropper tool, which is I. If you hit the I button, you can see it pulls up an eyedropper. And I'm going to grab the sun color here, somewhere in this area. We're going to make that our highlight color on his skin. So we got soft light, we got our color selected here. Now we're going to go to our brush tool, and we have a low opacity as well, and we are going to paint that just in the highlight areas here. And maybe even shrink this down and just go right around the bridge of his nose a little bit too. And what I can do as well is select that, give me a mask on that. All right, I think that's pretty good. Now, one last thing we're going to do is I am going to select my Nico head again, and I'm going to do another Command Shift C, Command V, and I am going to do a filter, other, height pass. What this is going to do is it's going to even bring out more details, but we don't want it to be too much, so let's give it somewhere in this area here. I'll hit OK, and then change the blending mode to overlay, and you can see we've got a pretty sweet detailed image there.
And there you go. That's how you turn your child into Iron Man. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If anything in there did not make sense, please go to Amazon and pick up my book, The Landscape Photographer's Field Guide. I go in and break down a lot of this kind of stuff in there. Kind of gives you some basics into photo editing and basically photography in general. So again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.